Hello, hello. So today is going to be very patchy, apparently. So they took the light not long ago. Yeah. So you have to manage with me. So I will turn off my video. If they bring the light, I will turn it back on. Um, but I hope my audio feed is good enough. I will be sharing my screen a lot today. Um, the Can you let me know if the audio is good enough? I can see that one person is online. So at least if the audio is good, then we can manage. Okay. So yeah. Last week I didn't do a proper introduction. So I figured I should start from there. Um why this Africa on Sunday, right? That's sort of my thinking. So I'm back. I didn't realize that the network my network was gone. So yeah, and the network is not so good. There is no light, but yet we persist. We persist. We are doing this so that the light, the network, these things can become ancient problems. I mean, the lack of them, lack of stable electricity, irregular internet connection. We want these things to be a thing of the past in the experience of Africans. So yeah, we persist. But I should note that the network will probably just continue to fluctuate. So bear with me. Bear with me. Yeah, like I was talking about the so-called separatist leader Nnamdi Kanu. I mentioned the fact that what is standing for this the 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 movement it represents, the message. These things are not going anywhere, regardless of whatever happens to him. So the government can continue to repress him. They can even kill him, but his cause remains as valid as 50, 60 years ago. And this is due to just the lack of the structure of the state that we've inherited, and we keep pushing, we keep managing. States are they are colonial. They have to marginalize groups of people. They have to disenfranchise them. They have to ensure that they can perpetuate this exploitation. They have to that's it is baked into like the model. And so these things are inevitable. On the states are radically restructured or radically until there's a revolution, pretty much there will be thousands, millions potentially of Nnamdi Kanu. So whatever the government is doing, it's just it's foolhardy. It's a it's uh it's eventually the chicken will come home to roost. So and as Shore said, how did he put it? So yeah, we cannot keep a man in prison using legal technicalities to justify injustice, right? Um, what is his crime? That's Nnamdi Kanu. Um, nobody can define it. Maybe his crime is agitating for a marginalized group of people, and in the state nomenclature and legislature, that is not something that can be clearly articulated. I mean, that must not be defined, right? So accepted or acknowledged. So and that's why nobody can define exactly what his crime is, right? Articulating the resentments shared by millions of other so-called Nigerians. So yeah, that is about Nnamdi Kanu. Um, what else happened in Africa this week? Hope my network is still okay. So yeah, like the other big news is Trump and Nigeria. Then Trump and Donald Trump and South Africa as well. He keeps bullying us. The states, African states, like I mean, these are the two biggest, or largely representative of these states. They are representative of largely, to a large extent, right? Representative of African and Africans. That's Nigeria and South Africa, and the United States government is speaking on them. It says a lot. Whatever the United States agenda, right? Whatever it is, the way I see it is this: we are in such an untenable position that the Africa as a whole, right, just be singled out and bullied, and nothing can be done. Um, Total lack of respect for our sovereignty, for our dignity. Um, Whatever is happening within Nigeria and also in South Africa, right? We might say it is largely an internal affair, um, but even our own government, right? We know that the sovereignty is not necessarily there. So, whatever we see, whatever we experience in the hands of these people, we take. Uh, as far as we see it, the way we see it is, it's even better that they come now, right? Uh, I mean, if Donald Trump is going to, and the United States Army or Department of War, whatever, if they are going to eventually invade us, they should do it now. Let's take the pretense out of the way. Let everybody realize. I mean, that would be like really good, because at least we realize how untenable, how precarious our position is as Africans, and then maybe um, that will create the circumstances for us to begin to take really concrete actions to correct a lot of the dysfunctions in our societies. So then to just touch on the primary thing we talked about last week, that's what is going on in Tanzania and what is happening in what is happening in Cameroon, the post election violence, right? So to share my screen. Um again, this YouTube stuff is not so good. But yeah. So yeah, the opposition, so-called opposition, right? They accused the Tanzanian government of killing over 1,000 people, over 1,000 Tanzanians, and the government itself equally has charged over a dozen people with treason after the disputed election. So let me just turn off my video. So how do I do that? I apparently do that. So hmm, okay. Hmm, I'll probably figure that out some other time. So as I was saying, right, the government has accused a lot of people of like, the treason, and it just occurred to me that who is actually who is treasonous? Is it not these people, the president and the people in power, the people making the decisions to not only sabotage the collective will, but also enforce the illegitimate government by force. Those are actually the the treasonous ones. And but yeah, like this is the situation that we found ourselves in. And um it's just like we said last week, right? Nothing will change. Nothing will change until we have this revolutionary awakening, until we realize that these things are functions of the the state, just the state's architecture, the structure, right? They are manifestations of these things. And as long as that remains the case, right, we'll keep repeating the same cycle. So yeah, the last thing I think I want to talk about is because um today has just been shitty for the most part, but bear with me. It will get better. I'm confident. So yeah, like I just want to talk about a few sad incidents occurring in Africa right now, and we should just keep this in mind. As we go about our week, we should just note them that like Africa is burning. Africa is really burning. There is a massive insecurity in Sudan right now. That's South Sudan, and that's not even where like the current genocide or is happening. I mean, the killing of other Africans by some pseudo-Arab people, right? So there is massive insecurity in food insecurity in South Sudan, and it's not only South Sudan. The eastern part of DRC, that's Congo as well. Over 25 million people are currently unable to just secure food. And I think Congo has a population of about 70, 80 million. I'm not so sure. And imagine, let's just give or take a quarter of the people are currently unable to secure their daily bread. So that's just with the food. In Mali, like the Sahel regions, right? The so-called insurgents, they are gaining traction again. There's a lot of momentum behind them. So it's possible that these groups, um, some people see them as rebel leaders, and the government, the illegitimate government, they call them terrorists, rebels. Um, but if you scrutinize deeply, you would realize that the reason why they are making headway, the reason why they are gaining this traction, the reason why they have remained um, resilient and they've not been they've not been defeated. Instead, they keep even gaining more territory. is because there is a latent dissatisfaction, in uh, ineptitude in these states. They are fostering the conditions, the internal contradictions in these states are fostering this movement. And when really good logical people, people who should know what is right, when they refuse to act, when they refuse to take on the mantle, the responsibility for their state, for their people, for their society, um, this so-called fundamentalists, they will they will win. And if they win, the consequences, right, will all be them, because we while they are waging their war, while they are gaining territory, while they are organizing, what are we doing? We are pursuing whatever. I mean, we can rationalize it however we want, but we are not organizing like them. We are not trying to build societies that won't give them the conditions to recruit and grow and perpetuate their role. So in Mali, these are regions, right? The coups, they happened because the people were frustrated. The military, the top echelons in the military, or I don't know, maybe mid-level officers, they were frustrated, right? Evidently, and the people as well. So the people wanted something different from like the civilian role, and the military people are there now, and these so-called terrorists, they are gaining traction. Gaining traction. They are still making wave. So in essence, right, the problem persists and it might compound. It might get really bad. So these are just like a few snapshots of incidents, things that, yeah, like I said, Africa is born in earlier. So these are these that I saw last week that um that makes me just feel really um terrible. Yeah. So hopefully next week um there will be a better setup. I will be able to do this. Let's see. And if you're still with me till now, well done. And yeah, so it's a wrap. It's a wrap, guys. Um, See you guys hopefully next weekend, next week Sunday.